This meeting is being recorded.
There we go. Excellent. Thank you very much, Nadia. Any other hands? Louisa. Hi, Louisa. Good to see you.
Hi, Mark. Good to see you too. Yeah, I'm Louisa. I run Ilona Design. We've been running it for over 10 years now, and we help creative businesses to launch and scale with a mix of graphic design and marketing services.
Brilliant. Thank you, Louisa. Just a reminder for those who've just joined, please do put your contact details in the chat, and do please raise a virtual hand if you're one of our full members, so I can come to you. Can I come to Joe? Hi, Joe.
Hi, afternoon. Sorry, I had to find the unmute button there. So I'm Joe. I own Electra Designs. I'm a graphic designer and illustrator with over 3 decades of experience. I specialize in brand design development and helping businesses then use that to grow their audience and communicate successfully with their clients. Love being in the group, love the diversity, as Nadia said earlier. The range of ideas and different viewpoints really is great to be around. So yeah, nice to be here.
Thank you, Joe. And Joe's taken advantage of our fast track Royal Society of Arts nomination. One of the benefits of full membership is fast tracked and discounted nomination as a fellow of the Royal Society of Arts. And I've submitted it and they've acknowledged receipt, Joe, just to let you know. Great. I'm going to come to Matt's next with a huge apology, because Matt and I were meant to meet this morning and I had a bit of an internet stroke laptop wobble, which jeopardized the stability of this meeting. And so I had to, I do apologize, Matt. I'm free 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon if you'd like to reschedule, but do please say hello.
Yes, I look forward to seeing you at 2 o'clock, Mark. That's great. So my name is Mats. I'm a former dancer and artistic director, and I'm now working as a career success guide for dance people working in the world of dance, dancers, choreographers, teachers, directors, and I help them with career management to make them more successful and have a happier working life, basically. So that's what I do.
Thanks, Matt. I love the fact that you describe it really beautifully. You don't teach people to dance, you teach people how to be a dancer.
That's right. Because I am also a ballet teacher, a dance teacher. So as Mark just said, I don't teach people how to dance. I assume they already can dance when they come to me. So I teach them how to become better dancers.
Brilliant. Thank you. Jonathan, hello. Good to see you. Welcome back. Would you like to introduce yourself very briefly?
Sure. Thanks, Mark. Yeah, I'm a ghostwriter in communications. I provide content-based communications for cultural and creative industry people who want to be thought of as thought leaders. I'm particularly interested in raising the profile of women leaders, women architects, designers and engineers. And that's it. Yeah.
Great. I love your phrase. You help people develop their market eminence.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you, Jonathan.
Thanks.
Robin, hi, how are you doing?
Hi, Mark. Great to be here. So, as Mark well knows, I run the Maestro Online, which is digital music courses and masterclasses with people who've played with top names or are at an international level, like the Jacksons and people like that. And about to get some off-qual accreditations, hopefully this year, for some grade exams based on the courses. So it's all moving forward.
Great. Thank you very much for being here. Farah, hi Farah, how are you doing? I should point out this is Farah's work behind me. What's this one's name, Farah?
Georgia.
This is Georgia. I know you sent me some more, so I'll get those edited in for next time.
So lovely to see you, Mark. Hi, everybody. Yeah, I hope everyone's well. So I'm Farah Syed, an artist, educator, and color energy specialist. The art that I create is very multifunctional in the way that you experience it, and it is focused on energy, and also the focus is on health, well-being, mentally, emotionally, and physically. It's a lot to explore there. And as an educator, I deliver my workshops for the blind and partially sighted, which empower people, but specifically the blind community globally. And it's been a fascinating journey for me to experience how art transcends so many barriers instantly, like language, culture, age, disability. So it's a lot to explore there. And as a color energy specialist, I consult with organizations, interior designers, and at one-on-one workshops about the power of color, specifically energy. So yeah, again, please get in touch if anyone wants to hear more, because I'm not going to go into anything right now, but yeah. Lovely to meet all of you and look forward to today's session.
Great, thank you, Farah. If you get a chance to meet Farah, ask her how people can tell the difference between colors by touch, because people with no sight can.
Anyone can.
Anyone can.
Yeah.
Anyone can. Brilliant. I should point out the after party is at the end of the hour. If you don't have to rush off, that's where a rather less frantic hour. It's great fun. It's where much of the magic happens. So do stay with us if you can. Please put your hand down if you've said hello. Can I come to Helena, please? Hi, Helena.
Yeah, hi. My name is Helena. I'm promoter, founder, and the Ukrainian agency Dairy Management from Ukraine, and which is engaged in the promotion career growth of classical music from Ukraine, and collaboration with musicians from other country. And also I'm a director of Friend of Music. It's a non-profit organization dedicated to expand the classical music community. And also, I have online consultation for everyone who is interested in Ukrainian music culture, organization concert in Ukraine, searching for musician material, Ukrainian music, searching for partner in organized together music project, and peer review on this partner.
That's
and
great. Helena,
yeah.
thank you so much. You and I had a really interesting meeting, and there is some plans for the autumn for a Ukrainian and British cultural kind of mashup, which sounds great. So do ask Helena about that if you meet her. Sarah, hello. Hi, how are you doing? How is it in the Bahamas?
Oh, it's good. Thanks, Mark. Thanks for hosting again today. This is brilliant. Hi, everyone. I'm Sarah. I am a former general manager at the National Theatre in London. I've moved to the Bahamas in 2021 to set up my creative business coaching consultancy, which I've been running for the last 3 years. But I was finding that I was spending more time marketing the business than I was actually coaching. Finding it very frustrating to get engagement on social media. It's the same people all the time. So my husband and I set up a tech startup, which is called Accelerate Social, which helps creatives, creators, freelancers, small business owners get more engagement on their posts through comment swapping globally. And we're in beta trials at the moment, so I can tell people one-on-one about that, because I know it's not a pitch fest, but I'm looking for people to test it and get more comments on their social media profiles. So that's what I'm doing now. Thanks, Mark.
Great. Thank you, Sarah. I'm on Sarah's beta team testing out this new venture. It's very exciting. So we've got a meeting later, I think, haven't we, about it?
Yeah.
Excellent. Have I missed anyone? Are there any full members here who have yet to say hello and who would like to? Have I missed anyone? Any more hands going up? No. Excellent. Well, you're all very welcome. Please do check out the opportunities that we offer full members. The fun bit is I get to interview you. 4 interviews. I'll do the arts and culture hot top 10 with you. We'll play the this and that game. We'll do a bit of a deeper dive into the work you do, and all of those videos are currently being edited, and they'll be on the YouTube channel, on the website, and promoted heavily in 2 rather large LinkedIn groups. And that seems to be the draw for joining us. I'm determined that we should remain independent. We're not going cap in hand to the Arts Council, I'm afraid, and I'm not looking for huge amounts of sponsorship so that we can do what we want in this community. That means, and the best way of making that sustainable is for us all to pay a little bit rather than go out and get big lumps. So if you fancy joining us, it's the join section on our website. You'll find something in the chat later on. Absolutely no compulsion or obligation. These meetings are always free. The LinkedIn groups are free. So do make the most of those. If you haven't introduced yourself on our LinkedIn group, please do. Ours is now a public group, which means we're getting huge amounts of, I think it's something like 500,000 post views per month now on the LinkedIn group. So if you like to introduce yourself and tag me in it, I can repost it. So there we go. That's my pitch done. Right, hands down, please, Robin, Sarah, and Helena. There we go. Right, we're going to do our first, and welcome to anyone who's just joined us more recently. I will get a chance to chat in the after party, and that's where I invite people to share their news if they'd like to. But first of all, Don, hello again. I think Don's probably been to more of these meetings than any other single person, which is great, with the possible exception of Farah and Sarah. So, right, we're going to, Donnie, how are you doing? Give us a wave. Can you hear us okay? Yes.
Yes, I can hear you.
Excellent. We've had technical problems in the past, but it's good. Thank you so much for joining us again. Okay, so we're going to open up the breakout rooms. You'll see a little pop-up come up. Let's see how many we have. Bear with me. We'll do it in pairs to start with. If you find that you're on your own for any reason, please stay put, because we'll move you to another breakout room. Just follow the leads on there. So I'm creating these now. Excellent. So buckle up, enjoy this 5 minutes, and see you back here in 5 minutes. Please share the time equally. If you think you can refer somebody or make a useful introduction, that would be the nicest gift you could do today and during this hour. Give us gain. See you in 5. Hi, Rachel, you're on mute.
Sorry, Mark. Hey, I'm having
again?
fun. This is really cool.
You're enjoying it?
Yeah,
Yes.
we're having a wonderful conversation here.
Yeah.
Hi, Mark.
Hi, Tina.
Yeah.
And he went too fast, indeed. We did get
Yes,
cut.
we did get cut, but yeah, Rachel, if you can send me, let's continue after.
Mark,
Excellent.
as it is our first time, where do we see the names of the people that are on this call so we can connect on the side?
So the idea is that you put your contact details in the chat, and then the chat will be placed on, we'll share the chat on the website after either tomorrow or Monday. The other tip I forgot to give was to suggest that you make sure that your full name is in your video window, because then if people want to find you, they can. We're recording this as well, which is great. So we're not recording the breakout rooms, obviously, but the TAD talk that Manuela's going to give shortly will be on that recording as well. I hope that was fun. There is a slim chance that you'll meet the same person twice, but if so, make the most of it, because you'll be able to carry on the conversation. So we're going to do one more quick one before we hear from Manuela. So I think, where are we all? We're all in. Yeah, excellent. So I'm going to recreate the rooms. Oh, we've got an even number now. This should work as just pairs. So recreate those. If you find you're on your own, please do stay put, and I'll move you around to another room. Buckle up. Here we go again. Welcome back. Welcome back. Can one of you say something? It triggers my speaker.
Howdy.
There we go. Try again.
Oh, Mark, it was just such a pleasure to meet Dina just now.
Oh, good.
Yeah, really, really lovely conversation. Looking forward to speaking to Dina another time. Yeah.
Well, that's good to hear. Fantastic. Welcome back, everybody. Here we come. Here we come. Excellent. Everyone's still here, which is great. And I must congratulate you all for keeping your cameras on. we do have a few who are either in their pajamas or on the beach who don't put their camera on, but this is great. Thank you so much. Akin, I'm going to ask you to do a screen grab. Where are you? I can't see you. There you are. I think we're all going to wave, and then you can do a screen grab, because it's rare that we've got so many people. Sanath, you made it back. Fantastic. And I think we've got Dan. Where's Dan? Has he just arrived? It's coming in, I think. So here comes Dan. Brilliant. Excellent. Hi, Dan. Good to see you. Can we all do a wave, please, so that Akin can take a screen grab? Are you ready, Akin? Tell us when you're happy.
All right, I'm gonna take a screen grab. Just keep waving for about 5-10 seconds.
Excellent.
And we got it. Thank you for that.
Good waving. Thank you very much, everyone. Okay, I think what we'll do is we'll hear from Manuela next, and then we'll do some more breakout rooms, but we might move to 3 or 4 people so that anyone who has to rush off at 2 o'clock can do so. But do please linger for the after party. I'm just posting it now. You'll find it in the chat. My contact details, LinkedIn address if you want to connect with me, a little bit more information about what we're doing, and the join link if you'd like to join us as a full member. It's only £10 a month, which I'm told is about 3 cups of coffee a month. But the combination makes so much more possible. So if you've enjoyed it, do please join us. If you haven't, I'm sorry, but I think we're all pretty good, which is great. Okay, so I'm going to invite Manuela to share her screen now. Are you there? Yep, excellent. I'm going to spotlight you, Manuela. Where are we? There we go. There we go. That's great. And there's the shared screen. Manuela, it has fascinated me. We've had a number of conversations, and Manuela is an arts psychologist and researcher. And among other things, and I'm sure she'll talk to us about it later in the after party, Manuela did a study that proves that musicians are more attractive. Now it's been published, it's recognized as authentic, and I can't wait to hear about that. But in the meantime, Manuela's going to talk to us for 10 minutes only, Manuela, if we can keep it to that, about 5 things that we didn't know about music. So can't wait for this. We're recording. Manuela, thank you so much for agreeing to do this, and welcome.
Thank you very much, Mark, for the invitation, and it's very nice to be part of the group and to be able to talk to you about 5 things you probably didn't know about music. I hope I will not talk too fast. Oops, what's that now? Sorry, one little problem.
Tick.
No, it's okay. Good. So I'm currently based in Innsbruck in Austria, just to give you a nice idea about the heart of the Alps, where I'm currently based. And I would like you at the very beginning just to imagine for a few seconds, perhaps 10, 15 seconds, a world without music. So how would it be for you? Just, reflect for a few seconds before I will talk about that a little bit more. So I reflected on this question as well for your talk, and I was thinking, well, there would be no music entertainment, no live concerts, no parties, no dancing probably, no music listening at all, so no radio, no self-selected music in all its forms, no active, musicianship in groups, so no choirs, no orchestras, no bands, no music making at all. No music as part of any kind of rituals, be it religious rituals or, let's say, in the context of politics. No film music when it comes to modern media. No music in advertising. There will be no subcultures created by musical genres. So no punk culture, heavy metal, whatever. There will be no music history at all. So because there will be no composers, obviously. There will be no music education, no music industry, and so on and so forth. Probably I forgot a few things, but yeah, the questions that we should ask ourselves could be, would the world be the same? Would human beings be the same? Would you be the same person? Music, being musical, is one of the things that make us actually human beings. So that's, I think, a good start to show the importance of music and musicality. In music psychology and in related fields, we have to differentiate between musicality and music. So musicality refers to the set of capacities and proclivities that allows our species to generate and enjoy music in all of its diverse forms. So that's the ability to enjoy and to produce music. So we don't mean by musicality now a particular musical talent, right? So, but just in general, that human beings are able to enjoy and produce music. And music is the product of human musicality, and it's extremely diverse. So we know every culture has a different musical history, different musical style, different musical systems. And yeah, that's the product of human musicality. Musicality comprises singing, instrumental music, dance as well, and social synchronization. So the ability to perform music in groups. And so just to say, music and musicality does not only refer to instrumental music. That's very important to have in mind, especially, and now I would like to start already with the first thing you probably didn't know about music, when it comes to the question of why do we have music? What are the origins of music or musicality? And the answer is, and I have to disappoint you right away at the beginning, that we don't really know. So the music, the scientific community doing research on music right now has no answer to that. We have many theories. I will show you some of them in a sec, but we still are in line with Darwin, who said already in the 19th century and declared that as neither the enjoyment nor the capacity of producing musical notes are faculties of the least use to man in reference to his daily habits of life, they must be ranked amongst the most mysterious with which he is endowed. And that's true. So music and musicality is still a big mystery, I would say. And the debate is, well, is music a biological adaptation? And can we have or show empirical evidence for that? Or is it simply, as Steven Pinker, famous American scientist, is claiming, auditory cheesecake? So something that's just there to entertain us. There is empirical evidence now for a number of theories trying to argue for the fact that music has evolved through either sexual or natural selection, and that there are certain biological functions related to music and musicality. One of them is sexual attraction. That's something that Mark already alluded to my study, showing some empirical evidence that music play a role in mate choice and in the context of sexual attraction. So that's one theory. Another one would be that music evolved for the purpose of social group cohesion. Another one is that music evolved because it is an excellent mean to regulate our moods, so our own moods, but also the moods of other people. Then there is another theory that claims that music and musicality evolved because it's an excellent means to communicate between infants and parents. So it's all about, the effect of lullabies in the context of childcare, or the effect of motheries, the special way the child carers are talking to their infants, so that the role of, that this is the main role why music has evolved. And another one is that music or being musical offers a kind of cognitive playground to children that enable them to develop their cognitive skills and to improve their social skills as well. So these are different theories, and we have some evidence for each of them. But the question now is, how can we unite them into one theory and show a perhaps even genetic basis of being musical? So that's a very big challenge for the future, I would say. Then the second thing I would like you to remember about music is that music is able to activate the reward system. You may have heard about that before, through the reward system. So it basically gets active when we are eating a nice tasting food, for example, or when we are having sex, or using an addictive drug. So the reward system is a group of neural structures responsible for wanting. So it has all to do with motivation in psychological terms, with positive reinforcement and positively balanced emotions. So we know music is a stimulus that can induce lots of pleasure in people. It's also frequently mentioned in surveys. And the question is why? Why does music induce this feeling of pleasure? Well, because it's able to activate the reward system. And this has been shown in 2001 in a seminal study by Canadian colleagues in Montreal, who used self-selected music that evoked musical chills, and that was and this music was in the people and the participants able to activate the reward system.
Manuela, sorry to interrupt.
Yes.
We've got a couple of minutes left. You might want to speed
Okay, I will
through the
go
last three.
a bit
Thank
faster.
you.
Yes, thank you. Well, then the other thing is that music is an excellent communicator of emotions and can manipulate your emotions, moods, and your behavior. Perhaps here I will not talk much about this slide and move on to the next one in the interest of time. But yeah, music, the musical emotions that are induced are very similar in terms of the psychophysiological responses, the neural responses, and the subjective feelings compared to emotions that you experience by other types of stimuli in everyday life. Okay, so that's a fact. The question is, are there something called aesthetic emotions, which we are still not sure about whether this is really true, but in general, the system behind it is the same. Yeah, the psychological system. And musical emotions can be induced by very different mechanisms, and only some of them are related to the acoustical and to the musical information of the stimulus. All the other mechanisms work differently, and this is then how they are all used, let's say, in a more applied settings to manipulate emotions in people. And I've made here a list, and I will not go through them now in detail, but you see where our emotions are manipulated in a positive or negative way by music. So in very applied settings, from advertising to consumer psychology, in background music in shops, when it comes to politics, in train stations, when you want to make sure that certain people are not gathering around train stations, you play classical music, for example. When it comes to safety in parking garages and so on, background music in restaurants, they are not only influencing how fast you're eating, but also how many tips you're giving. Then the fourth thing I would like you to remember is that music and language have many commonalities. So in the terms of the structure they are having, so in terms of rhythm, syntax, and also the melodic or prosodic structure. So there are lots of theories about it that compare music and language with each other. We are not sure about the origins of music and language, and Darwin and some others have proposed that actually music and language have one origin, and that's called the musical proto-language hypothesis. So that's one thing to remember. And the last one, it's also an applied topic. Music is a powerful therapeutic tool, and lots of, I would say, really groundbreaking basic research in the field of music psychology is now being used to develop specific programs to cure people suffering from one of these neurodegenerative or neurodevelopmental disorders or diseases. I'm not going to read them. You can do this yourself. Yeah, there are really very specific programs that have been developed and that are successful. So music in the context of therapy is a really, very important aspect that you should remember. Yeah, and that's already the end. So I think you will agree that a world without music would be, well, without music, life is a journey through a desert. I hope you agree, and that you see that research in music psychology has really offered already lots of interesting insights into how music and musicality make us more human, perhaps, and also how, we can use music to become perhaps even better humans in certain contexts. Thank you.
Manuela, thank you so much. Would you like to come off mute, everybody, and we'll give Manuela a healthy round of applause. I can hear the clapping. There we go. Yep, there we go.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Manuela. I'm sorry I had to rush you through that. We'll make sure the presentation and the video is available on the website for those who've registered or attended. Thank you so much. I'm reminded a conversation I had. I think you and I decided there should be a day every year, a national no music day every year, where music is not allowed for a whole day, just to let everybody know how important it is. So thank you. And there was another lovely saying I think you shared with me, which was music has the power to make you remember anything and forget everything.
Yeah, when we had our conversation.
Yeah, thank you so much. You might like to stop sharing now.
Okay, thank you.
There we go. That's excellent. Thank you so much. I've seen lots of very complimentary comments in the chat. Do keep those coming because we can use that. That's great. Thank you so much, Manuela. Manuela's going to stick around for our after party, so if you've got any questions, we can do that. But I thought it might be fun. We've got 9 minutes left before 2 o'clock. Which some people may have to go. But I thought we'd break out into slightly larger groups and give you an opportunity to discuss what we've just heard from Manuela. Talk about your favorite music, talk about what the last music that made you cry, the last music that you saw live, and reflect on some of the things that Manuela has told us about that. So let's do one more round of breakout rooms. If there's somebody here that you'd like to meet for a further conversation and you haven't had the chance to speak to, please put the word meeting in the chat in capitals followed by their name, because when we share the chat later, we can all go through and see if anybody's asked to have a meeting. So meeting in capitals followed by their name, and that would be great. Excellent. So one more breakout room session. I think we'll do in fours, which will give you a better chance to there we go, to meet more people. So I'll give you perhaps 7 minutes and then we'll come back on the hour, say goodbye to anyone who needs to rush off for another meeting, and then we'll have our after party where I'll invite some of our new members to say hello and existing members to share some news. Okay, so 8 breakout rooms, 4 in each. If you're on you won't be on your own, hopefully, on this one. But if you get stuck, just stay put. Okay, buckle up, here we go. Welcome back, welcome back. Excellent, here we all are. While you've been nattering, I hope that was a bit different, and it's now 2 o'clock. So if you have to go, or whatever time it is, wherever you are, if you have to, it's the end of our hour. So if you have to slide off, then just wave and go. And thank you so much for joining us. It's been very, I think Jonathan's waving in Barcelona there, thumbs up and waving. Prakash, thank you for joining us. But with that, some of us like to linger and have a little bit of an open networking session. It's a great opportunity thank you, David. It's a great opportunity. Thanks, Matt. A great opportunity for those Sarah's waving as well. Thank you, Sarah. It's a great opportunity for us to learn more about each other, what's news, what's going on, any problems we can group solve, and anything that you'd like to share that we can celebrate. So could I ask for another hand up if you're here for the first time? Liz, good to see you, Liz. Would you like don't feel as though you have to, but Liz, do jump off mute and say hello if you like. And thank you for your email just now, by the way. We'll talk about the positioning for the service. So what gets you up in the morning, Liz?
Well, quite a lot actually. just because the day starts, I'm always early, around 5, between 5 and 6. I'm getting out of bed, and then I start cleaning everything, and it's really maybe a bit strange, but anyway, I take care of all the animals here in the garden, my cats and the birds, and a chicken, which is not mine, but she comes every morning. She gives me eggs. It's really nice. I give her food and a nest.
Remind us where you are, Liz.
Oh, I'm in the Netherlands, in this country village, in an old cottage.
Lovely, beautiful. And just remind us your role, what the work.
I'm a motion designer. Formerly worked as event and project manager for marketing and communications. But I went into another direction. Motion design, but also I think, well, I think I can call it botanical art. I make it from paper. I can show you some. I showed a few. Well, you know, kind of.
Beautiful.
I'm still looking for the direction, but that's why I joined.
Yeah, and I think you and I are going to get our heads together around that.
Yeah, I would really like that, and it's really necessary too.
Yeah.
So thank you.
As many of our members know, I offer a one-to-one brand discovery workshop, and it's significantly reduced in cost for members of our network. And the idea is to find your identifying characteristic as a professional or a business or an individual or an artist. What we do is we explore what makes you different, what makes you better, what makes you remarkable, so that you are noticed, remembered, and talked about. And we have a lovely brand board that we fill in while we're going through that process. It's Jonathan's done it. Jonathan had to go, but Jonathan's done one of them, and that was great. So excellent. Thank you very much, Liz. Hayley, you're very welcome as a first-time visitor. Would you like to say hello briefly?
Hi, I'm Hayley. Sarah invited me, as we've spoken previously. I'm a virtual assistant that specialises in creatives and arts and entertainment. I worked in entertainment for a long time before I had my kids. So then I set up a business that basically gives you a PA, but doesn't mean you have to be a 9-to-5 kind of business. So it's all the benefits of all the boring bits that no creative wants to do, really. And we find people that thrive in those kind of environments and match them with people that need help in taming the creative and building the business side.
That's great. We should have a one-to-one. There's a link in the chat to book it, so I can learn more about that. I imagine most of us here could benefit from your support in that respect. Get rid of the boring personal admin stuff so that we can all be more creative. Yeah. Excellent. Who else is here for the first time? Dina. Hello, Dina.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you.
Greetings from Milan. I'm in Italy, and I lived in the UK before. And I worked in the business world, let's say, and then I shifted my career in the country, changed everything.
Oh, we've lost you a bit. We can't hear you very well.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now better?
A little bit, yes.
Okay. So yes, and I made a career change for arts and culture because that's what I love myself, and since childhood, and I thought I'll follow my passion. And I'm currently working as a consultant for cultural institutions and destinations, developing strategies, positioning, and the whole concepts, basically. And in addition to that, I'm very passionate and interested currently in the topics of creative and artistic practices to develop individual creativity and innovation, and the link between arts in any form and shape and experiencing arts. What's the impact on health and well-being? Some of the things that Manuela was talking about, and so these are my kind of main things at the moment, I would say.
Great, Dina.
Do please. Here. Thank you.
Yeah, no, you're very welcome. I think you and I probably need a 15-minute one-to-one, because I can think of 3 people in our network who are working in a similar area, and I think you'd love to meet those. Thank you very much, Dina. I've overlooked Don again. I'm always doing this. Don, what's the news from across the pond there? Would you like to say hello?
Sure. Hi, I'm Don. I'm from New Haven, Connecticut, in the United States, kind of near New York. Actually, Mark, I'm kind of excited. I'm going to be starting a new job shortly. I can't quite say what it is yet, but interestingly, I used one of your techniques that you had mentioned during one of my interviews, and it actually kind of worked. And so I want to thank you. I think we need a little catch-up time because I want to chat with you on some things. But no, things are great over here. It's spring, and on the East Coast, at least, the weather's been beautiful here. So it's been really enjoyable. But yeah, I'm excited about my new adventure.
I can't wait to hear. I should explain was it the killer question at the end of the interview that I taught you? Yeah, just for I think I'll share it briefly. If you're pitching for some work or you're doing a job interview, there is a question you can ask at the end of the interview or the meeting that cannot fail. And I'll tell it briefly. So quite often you're interviewed by perhaps 2 or 3 people. One of those people will probably be more senior than the others. And you'll get the opportunity in most cases to ask questions at the end of the interview. And the question to ask is as follows. I may not get another opportunity to reassure you. So could you please tell me now if I have failed to convince you that I am capable of doing this job and the right person for this role? If you have any concerns about my capability. It's a magical question, because what typically happens is the junior members on a decision-making panel don't ask any questions for fear of showing that they know less about the subject than you do. So they tend to keep quiet. And in those cases, the interviewer will look left and right and say, anyone got any concerns about Don? They'll all shake their heads and say, no, no, no. And then invariably, the panel lead will then say something positive about your interview. If one of those people does have a concern about your suitability for the job, then they'll mention it, and you get the opportunity to whip out another case study or another example of how you were able in those circumstances. So, but the magic really happens when you leave, because they then talk about you when you've closed the door. And because you gave them the opportunity to criticize you in public, they don't do it in private, because the lead panel member will say, well, why didn't you bring that up when you were invited to? So do please use it at the end of any kind of meeting or pitch or interview. It's worked for Don. Hooray. Brilliant. No, there we go. Sorry, I'm digressing. So does anyone else, sorry, have I missed anyone else who's here for the first time? Graham, thank you so much. I can't believe this is your first visit. We've been chatting for months.
We have. Hi, Mark. Hello, everyone. I came across the ACN because I was Googling potential relatives of mine during the lockdown, and Mark's surname is the same as my mother's maiden name. And we still to work out if we are actually somewhat related. Anyhow, lovely to be here, Mark. It's a really fun environment with lots of very interesting people. So thanks for setting this up. I'm a part-time musician. I also work in a business growth studio, and we use consumer psychology to increase a business frontline revenue and increase sales effectively. That's scale-ups and startups is who we work with. But lovely to interact with a bunch of cool independent operators, it seems, and people from across the world looking to connect, Mark. So thanks for having us. Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much, Graham. It's great to have you here. Thank you. Have I missed anybody who's here for the first time? Patrick, are you here for the first time? Would you like to say hello or prefer not to?
Yes, it's quite bad timing. There's a bin lorry that's just arrived outside my house, which is really bad timing just when you want to introduce me. I'll just quickly close my window. Okay, I'll come back to you. Would anyone else like to say hello and share some news and introduce themselves? Please do if you wish. This is being recorded so others will see it. We're nearly at the point where more people watch this afterwards than join it, which is fun. Dan, was that a wave?
Yes, sort of a wave, yeah. I just want to say hi to everyone. I am filmmaker, screenwriter, and always looking to connect. I'm coming to London June 28th until the 4th of July. And if there's anybody, interested in film or involved in film, would like to meet up for face-to-face, that'd be great. I can leave my info in the chat. But since I seldom come to London, it'd be great to, connect with anyone there.
That's great, Dan. I was planning to spend lunch and afternoon at the Royal Society of Arts on the river at some point in the summer. Farah and I have met there before, haven't we? So we'll try and do that between the 28th and the 4th so that we can meet you. That would be great. Excellent. I saw Jason was Martin, good to see you.
I had a bit of a long hiatus, but I'm back now. I have a question actually for Marin, if she doesn't mind. So Manuela, if she doesn't mind. Yeah.
Yeah, by all means.
Hi, Manuela. Thank you for the presentation. It was really interesting. I was just kind of wondering. A long time ago, I did a punk song which was 30 seconds long, and everybody says nobody listens to music for just 30 seconds. But now it's like TikTok, shorts, everything's short. Do you find that with music now, people are expecting shorter bursts of music? They can't listen to longer things, or has anything changed in that respect, do you think?
Good question. Well, I think just the normal length of music songs is still the same, right? I don't think that this has changed, but it could be in the applied settings or in terms of social media that things are a bit changing now. Yeah, it's true. But I don't know any, to be honest, studies that have empirically tested this or looked into it in greater detail. So I'm not aware of that, but it could be, and it would be a question really to study in greater depth, I think, how the social media use is changing, how we use music and perhaps perceive it. But let me tell you that in general, with shorter, when it comes to music perception and how we perceive emotions, you need only very little musical information, right? So a few seconds can already communicate a lot when it comes to emotions, for example. So it works, this I know, even if the music is very, very short. So short clips, short extracts, doesn't need to be 30 seconds, 2-3 seconds can already be enough and communicate lots of musical information. This I know. But in combination with social media, I personally have not studied it, and I'm unaware of studies that have done so.
That's
I'm
great.
going to write some 2 or 3 second songs then. Great.
Yeah.
Songs,
thank you.
Not
That's
really
a great
songs,
question.
but few bars.
Yeah.
That's a great question. I understand that the compact disc was 70 minutes long so that you could get Beethoven's Ninth Symphony on it. I also understand that long playing records, vinyl, there was a finite amount of music you could get on each side. And I think 45s for the elderly amongst us, 45s, the tiny little vinyl discs that singles used to be produced on, there is only like 3 or 4 minutes of music possible on there. So I think that kind of dictated it. What you've written, that's a fantastic question, Martin, because now that we're streaming stuff and we're not having to use physical media, that's completely changed that. Bye, Farah. Nice. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, it's fascinating. Love that. But yeah, I think the compact disc was the length it was so that you could get the whole of Beethoven's Ninth Symphony on it without having to change it. So thank you both. That's great.
May I just add one thing that came into my mind? I just know in general that the attention span of people has reduced a lot through the use of social media. So this may be another factor playing into the whole story, right? So that everything is now shorter because we are not used anymore to listen to 45 minutes of music or whatever, or even longer, because most young people, they're used to change their channels the whole time, right?
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of, sorry, Mark.
Sorry, Nadia, go on, please.
No, there's a lot of studies about that. Our brains develop habits when we repeatedly see, and the algorithms, that's why they're downgrading humans at the moment, because we are repeatedly doing things that are being driven by an algorithm instead of our own. So apparently our brain then rewires habits. We have to be conscious and not compulsive in order to go to what our true nature really wants.
Yeah.
So this is really, it's a big topic right now,
Yes.
I think. It's
And-
not good. I don't
No.
think it's good
No,
at
it's
all.
not good.
And it's the same as, do you know, I cannot emphasize from my side, it is so different going to a concert and having the energy of 5,000 people around me and streaming on Spotify.
Yes,
It's
yeah.
just not the same.
No,
Yeah.
it's not
So yeah.
Isn't it interesting? 25 years ago, a band would tour to promote the sales of an album, and now they do the opposite. You know, if you buy a ticket for, I think it was 9 Inch Nails who pioneered it. If you bought a ticket for their show, you got the album. You know, it's completely changed. Yeah, it's fascinating. I just want to give anyone else an opportunity to jump off mute and say hello. Henry, it's good to see you. I hope you survived Liverpool and the Eurovision, because you're in Liverpool, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm in Liverpool. Hello, everyone. So I study media production and I graduate from Birmingham. Now I'm in Liverpool. I mostly do photography and videography, and I do some project with classical music, and I enjoy that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm
Thank you
from
for joining
Taiwan.
us. Are you still
Thank
on the
you.
job? Are you still job hunting?
Yeah.
Yeah. You might want to have a look at our new other LinkedIn group, which is all around the jobs. So it's the Arts and Culture Opportunities group on LinkedIn. We've got 8,000 there. So you might want to post a little, and if you do, tag me in it and I'll repost it. So it'd be great. Sonia, hi. Would you like to say hello?
Yes, I wanted to say a quick hello to Manuela. I'm an artist and psychologist, so we have a few things in common. I really enjoyed the presentation. I was familiar with some of the material. I was particularly interested in the origins of language and music, the proto-language origins, and I'll be looking into that further for sure. That was really interesting. And I've spoken to Mark about music before, especially in the context of soundtracks. And I just wanted to mention the power of matching the right music to footage is such a unique skill, is so particular. And there is a power in that. And I think we'll be hearing a lot more about also the use of matching music to video in social media, because getting it wrong can be a disaster, but getting it right, it really makes a difference.
Great. Thank you,
Sonia.
Sonia. Do you know the film music documentary, The Score, that was published a few years ago? It was in all the cinemas. I think, Mark, I sent you a link, right?
I watched it. It was great.
It was great, yeah. And it's about, the composers, film music composers, and how they're finding the right music to the film. And you can see how it's, how the music is composed, how they work, how it's recorded in the studios, and it's great.
It was fascinating. My favorite bit was when John Williams played the opening of Jaws to Steven Spielberg for the first time, and Spielberg said, "Are you kidding me? 2 notes."
Yeah. It was a great moment of the
Yeah, it was a really good
What is
moment.
that called? The Score?
The Score. I think it's on Apple TV, isn't it?
Okay.
Manuela?
I watched it with my students in the cinema, so I don't know, and I bought the DVD, so
Yeah, it's available somewhere. I'll try and find the link, Sonia, because I've watched it, and I think you have to pay, but I don't think it's much.
Okay, cool.
There's one, and you're absolutely right. There's also somewhere on YouTube, somebody has created a video of really iconic movie moments with the wrong music, and it's hilarious. You've got, it's absolutely hilarious, and it really highlights how clever people like John Williams and Hans Zimmer are, because Interstellar is the only movie I watch for the music, and how it works with the imagery. It's just I love it. I'm fortunate. I'm going to the Royal Albert Hall on Sunday. They're playing. It's the King of Instruments, the organ. It's a 2-hour concert of just the organ, and one of the pieces that Anna Lapwood, the organist, is going to play is the theme from Interstellar on the organ at the album. I can't wait for that. It's going to be great.
I'm going to be seeing Hans Zimmer live at the O2 on Wednesday, and I can't wait.
Are you going? Oh,
Yeah,
fantastic!
Yeah.
And I think Helen has had left us, but I think when I saw him recently, the orchestra was predominantly Ukrainian musicians that he rescued.
Wow.
So it's fantastic. You'll have an absolute blast.
Can't wait.
Sven, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. Hi, everyone. Greetings from Malta. I've been back here for a year. Yeah, very interesting talk, Manuela, about the music. I was just, it reminded me of years ago, I used to teach game design, and I used to get my students to try playing like their video games without music or switching it to different soundtracks or sound effects, and that completely changed the dynamic of the games. So yeah, the psychology comes into it. Yeah, so hi everyone, just quickly, basically in my current iteration, I'm doing 3D stuff. So bringing objects and spaces to life, architectural visualization, game environments, that kind of thing, or 3D printing. That's what currently drives me.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sven. You're very welcome. It's great to see you. I hope you've put your details in the chat, have you? Because we'll share that.
I did, yes. I think earlier. Yeah.
That's great. Does anyone else have any news they'd like to share or challenges that we often, in my family at dinner, we still eat together, which is nice when we get the chance. We do peaks and pits. Everyone has to do what's the peak of your day and what's the pit of your day, and it's a lovely way of sharing challenges. So does anyone, Louisa's come off mute, go on.
Yeah, I have a challenge. So I'm working with a client at the moment to bring an app to market, which it's helping the hard of hearing and people who wear hearing aids. We're looking for beta testers who are hearing aid users. It's basically, the purpose of the app is to spread empathy and understanding of each individual hearing impaired person's hearing loss. So how they hear the world. It records sounds from whichever environment they're in, and then it plays it through their specific hearing loss. So it can be really useful for people. Say, for example, if you're in a university lecture hall and you're struggling to hear your lecturer and you're falling behind with your studies because you're not picking up what's happening, you can play this to your lecturer and they can adapt their delivery accordingly, so that you as the hearing impaired person can catch up. So we're really struggling to find beta testers at the moment. So if anyone has any leads or knows anyone who's hearing impaired, who has a hearing aid, who would be willing to test out the app, then I'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, I've got some ideas already for that, so we should catch up, Louisa. It reminds me, years ago, 3 celebrities tried to get around Edinburgh in wheelchairs as an experiment to demonstrate how difficult it was, and they came to a pub and they couldn't get in, and the landlord said, well, we were going to put a ramp in, but we don't get many disabled people in here. Hello. And the other one was, I used to work in medtech as well, so I was working on a project that someone created some goggles, and it replicated the impact of macular degeneration. So in a rather similar way, you put the goggles on, and there are 2 black dots that gradually get bigger and bigger until you can't see anything. So it's a similar, if you were to search that up, and I'm sure you'd find some information about it, then there might be some overlap there, but I'm sure anyone here who's got either connections into, you need an association, really, you need a representative body, that's what you need. And
well, that's a good idea, Mark.
Yeah,
the Association for Hearing and stuff. Yes, even
yeah.
better.
If you were to look for some of those associations on LinkedIn and you find their company pages, you'll probably find people who either work there or are kind of connected with you. If you remind me, I'll do the same, because I'm fortunate. I've got, I think, 25,000 followers on LinkedIn now, so there's a chance that I might be connected to the right people in those organizations. So I'll be happy to do a search, Louisa.
Great, thank you. That's really helpful.
Cool.
Thanks so much.
May I ask a question? Because I'm now,
sure.
Well, I'm not working now because I left my IT role, because a bit similar to Dina, I want to make the shift so that I'm more working in the I want to be interacting and working with creative and artistic people and probably culture. I mean, in my dream would be creating documentaries about really good topics, but that probably will come later. But for now, which top contracting agencies are best for this field? So if I want to be working, say, in the next month, which are the agencies? Because I only know the agencies that worked with IT and meds and medtech and all that. So, yeah.
Sorry if anyone else wanted it, but to come back, Arts Professional is worth a look.
Arts Professional.
Yeah. The Arts Marketing Association. Arts Jobs. Those would be the first three I would try. And make sure it's open. You've got open to work on your LinkedIn picture.
I don't like doing that, Mark. Honestly, I've had some bad experience, but I'll tell you that when we have our one-to-one. But
okay.
No, so yeah. The arts one, the first one was Arts
Professional.
Yes, that's right.
The Arts Marketing Association.
Yeah.
By all means, post on our new group. There are 8,000 people there. You never know. That's the Arts and Culture Opportunities, Careers and Jobs group.
I'll have a look at that. Yes. Yeah. It's just
I'd really appreciate it if you would all join, actually, because that it's exponential then. Even if you're not particularly looking for a role or have a vacancy, so that's worth a look. So
thank you very much.
No, it's my pleasure. We've got 2 minutes till past. I'm delighted that you've lingered. It's talking about short attention spans. The reason this is an hour is because I didn't want people to think it was going to be 3 or 4 hours. We squeeze a lot in, but from the comments I've seen in the chat, there are follow-up meeting happening. I think Sarah's got 2 offers for beta testers for her new venture, I think, and also I think was it Richard? Can't remember. There are a couple of meetings planned, which is good. Jason has asked for a meeting with Sarah, which is great. Sarah's worth chatting to. She's inspirational. She's great. I mean, anyone who lives in the Bahamas, works 2 hours a day, has got to be inspirational. So before we go, Manuela, I just wanted to say thank you again so much. That was fascinating. It was great. I'm sure people will follow up. If you can search for Manuela Marin and find some of the work that Manuela's done, there's lots there. There's a video introduction I found about the study into musicians being more attractive. I love the way that worked. Dan, I look forward to seeing you at the end of June in London, or the beginning of July. It would be great. Hayley and Dina, thank you for joining us for the first time. I hope you'll come back again, and thank you all. I'll give you back the rest of the afternoon. You didn't expect to be here for an hour and a half, but I've had you. So thank you so much. If you can and you want to quickly download the chat, do. Ralph's messaged me, and I apologize. Ralph, I missed, he had to go, but I'll save the chat as well. And this video and Manuela's presentation and the chat transcript will all be on the website after the weekend. So thank you all so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you very much.